All right. Well, we are live here for Open Your Hearts and Open Your Wallets 12-hour live event. And Matt Wolfe has just popped into the green room from his second hour of this fundraiser today. So we are grateful for Tim Stone for putting this together. And again, I want to welcome you to the third hour as we broadcast Open Your Hearts and Open Your Wallets for Blood Cancer, the 12-hour fundraiser. I'm D. Scott Smith, your host for this hour. And again, Matt Wolfe is going to come in. We're going to give him a moment because he just went from broadcasting an hour with his mom and with Alex Rosa. And that was a great, some great stories there. We're going to hear some more from Matt coming up. This event runs until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am here on the West Coast, so we're just getting our day going. It is 7 a.m. here and on the West Coast. Now, if you would like to donate, there are plenty of ways to do that. You can donate. You can donate online here, and let's just put that link up here so you can go. It's in the comments. You can go and click on the link and donate. You can also make a check out to LLS, mail it to Tim Stone at 120 Carroll Lane, Shahola, Pennsylvania 18458. Now, the mission of the Leukemia Society, LLS, is to cure leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, myeloma, and to improve the quality of life for so many people. So it's great to have Tim here in the comments. Let's put Tim up. And thank you, Tim, for the opportunity to be a part of this. So there's a lot of other cancers. There's a lot of cancers out there that are being helped through the work of LLS. Blood cancers are the focus today, but skin cancer and brain cancer, breast cancer, pancreatic, prostate affects a lot of people. So just quickly, my father was taken by lung cancer. He was 53. And then at 71, my mother, who had breast cancer and was a survivor, that breast cancer metastasized as bone cancer. And she was 71. So cancer affects everybody, and we're grateful for the work that Tim is doing to help raise awareness and raise funds. So make sure that you have the opportunity to click and donate here. So every dollar counts. So we're going to put that up here. And you can donate. So open your hearts, open your wallets. That's what we're here for. And my guest is Matt Wolfe. We'll bring him in just a moment. There are a lot of stories, and the first story that we want to start with is the story of Brooklyn. And so Brooklyn had cancer, was cancer-free, and then relapsed. So let's just go right into Brooklyn's story.
Maybe, okay, so you're recording?
Yes.
Okay, maybe say, hi, my name is Brooklyn.
My name is Brooklyn. This is my identical twin sister, Alyssa. And this is my pet bearded dragon, Smaug. I love my dragon a whole lot. I would describe myself as very passionate. I love to write. I like to play the violin. I remember getting the biopsy results in my sister's bedroom. Diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. I had just turned 21. I was terrified on my first day of treatment. And before I knew it, I was getting continuous chemo for 96 hours straight. But none of it was working. At that point, we realized that we couldn't pass up any opportunities, and we had to take every moment that we could. So one of the things we did was take time for me and my sister to go find me a wedding dress. Not because I was getting married, but just to have the experience and to be able to find that perfect dress with my sister and share that moment together, since we knew that we couldn't guarantee it anymore. We were trying to learn everything we could about my diagnosis. That's why we went to LLS's blood cancer conference. And from that day on, LLS just became a big part of our lives. They helped me find meaning through volunteering and sharing my story. And they just gave me a blood cancer family. I thank LLS the most for funding my clinical trial. Getting the compassionate acceptance was really exciting, but my goodness, it was rough. And I finally got a remission. I relapsed less than 3 months later. We were sitting on a concrete bench outside the hospital thinking, why did we ever do this? A lot of feelings of defeat. I just kept asking how. How could we have done all of this? None of it mattered then. I still had cancer. So here we are. I've received all the standard treatments and even the newest blood cancer advances. And the only option now is treatment that just might slow down the cancer and buy a little bit of time. It's really hard to watch yourself get sicker. If you're not in the hospital for chemo, you're there because you have fluid in your chest or have another infection or need another blood transfusion. I'm exhausted and my family is exhausted. But I love my family and I love living life with them. We're relying on something better, more research. You give us the hope that we're hanging on to for my life. LLS calls me an honored hero, but really, you're my heroes.
Open your hearts, open your wallets. Brooklyn's story is one of those stories that you can participate in if you open your heart, open your wallet, and you can donate. You can see the link there in the bottom. Over these 12 hours, there's a lot of live streaming going on, and I encourage you to participate and share with as many people as you can. Now, again, I thank Tim Sohn for putting this together, for inviting me, for allowing me to be a part of this, and bringing you in and helping and allowing you to be a part as well. If you would donate, open your heart, open your wallet, follow the link there. Tim has put himself up as a candidate for Man and Woman of the Year, which is a 10-week philanthropic competition to support blood cancer research among the group of motivated and dedicated individuals in communities across the United States. Candidates form powerful fundraising teams. And so thank you for all of the people who are participating, watching, and sharing today. And they compete for in honor of 2 local children who are blood cancer survivors. So shout out to Gia and Grayson. Tim Sohn decided to be a candidate for Man and Woman of the Year because he was diagnosed with chronic leukemia 15 years ago, and he started to share his cancer journey in June on Jenny Gold's show. So a big shout out to Jenny Gold. Many places since then have found, and in many places. All right. So Tim found out in December that he is cancer free, and he launched the Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer show with Kara Oker. And just a few months ago, when where they invite cancer survivors and supporters to share their stories, connect, and support each other. So that's why we're here today. To show up, change lives. Tim is cancer-free. That could change in a heartbeat. Again, cancer affects everybody. And let's talk about LLS. And I'm just going to show the video about LLS pedal. And then we're going to bring, right after that, Matt, get ready because we're going to be on stage together. There he is. All right.
What we're trying to do here with LLS Pedal is to do something that's never been done before, and that's to match the child to a trial almost in real time. You could imagine a child coming in with relapsed leukemia and to be able to figure out within 24, 48 hours a new therapy to put that child on and to get that therapy started. That's never been done before.
We've been using the same drugs for the last 40 to 50 years. These are drugs that have been designed primarily for adult cancers, and we've been using them in kids to improve outcomes. And we've probably gotten as much mileage out of them as we can. For many of these types of leukemias that we're treating, we've pushed the limit of toxicity as far as we can. If we're going to make new progress, we need new therapies.
With this initiative, if we are successful, we can bring in massive number of pediatric leukemia patients to answer questions in a few short years rather than decades. And the fact that we have failed to do that really requires for us to change the way we're thinking and change the paradigm.
Pediatric leukemia is actually different from adult leukemia. So the changes that we see in the leukemia cells at the level of the genes are actually quite different from those seen in adult leukemias. So it's really important to actually focus research specifically on childhood leukemias, both acute myeloid leukemia as well as acute lymphoblastic leukemia. I am so excited that the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is going to support a next generation clinical trial very similar to the adult Beat AML trial. This trial is actually going to enable a master trial for children with AML and other high-risk leukemias. So as part of this study, really for the very first time, we're going to be able to sequence the gene changes in a child's leukemia and then match those gene changes to drugs in a series of clinical studies.
Without LLS's backing, we could never even dream of a project like this because this is a huge initiative that's going to require data from lots of different sources and an enormous infrastructure, the likes of which we've never seen before.
I have never been this optimistic as I stand here today. We can do this.
And so here we are with Matt Wolff of Ticket Time Machine, and just finished an hour. You finished the second hour with your mom and Alex. Matt, welcome to the show today.
Yeah, appreciate you having me and Tim for setting this up. It's a great event, and man, you should have told me you were going to play that Brooklyn video before I came on. It's I'm a twin myself, and I can't even imagine something like that. You know, my brother is my world, and to be that young, you know, you and I will talk about it. You lost your dad; he was 53. I lost my dad; he was 63. My mom talked about losing someone in her 30s. My wife lost a best friend when she was from breast cancer. She was in her 20s, and her maid of honor now has a cancer, and so it's a tough story to watch. I feel for Brooke and the family, and I'm grateful that she's still alive, and hope that they can find a way to help. I can't believe she's 21 at the video. I mean, I thought you were showing a video of someone who's like 12 years old.
So young looking. Yeah. It's and this is one of those things, Matt. And again, I'm grateful for you coming on and sharing the story. But being able to participate in a life like Brooklyn, and it's one thing to hear about cancers and to know about it, but when you get that direct story and you know that you can help that one person, what a difference it makes.
Yeah, I think unfortunately and fortunately, it takes stories like that or something that hits home to you, and that could be anything. We see that even with COVID. Like COVID's not a big deal until
Mhm.
someone in your life has it, and something happens, and then all of a sudden it is a big deal. So we need to get to the point where we're having. I said this. We're always having the conversation, bringing this stuff to the forefront, not waiting for tragedy or someone who's close to us. But there's a lot of bad things out there that we need to help with, and so it's hard to figure out and get
Mhm.
the attention.
Yeah, and as we know, medical research and trials take time, and it takes a lot of money. But if we come together, it's just a little bit from each one of us, and if we can each participate, and that's what we're here for. We're here to tell the stories about individuals. And I know you, as you said, your dad was 63.
63 years old. He had Parkinson's. So, and I can't remember how long he had Parkinson's, but I remember where I was when I had a call from him and he told me he had Parkinson's. I was playing football with my friends out in the yard, and he said it's we didn't know a whole lot about it. Michael J. Fox had it, and he said it's okay. We're going to do some treatments and there'll be some shakiness. So I saw that, but the Parkinson's really masked the pancreatic cancer, which is a nasty disease regardless. And by the time he got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, 6 weeks later, he was gone.
Wow.
And we see the stories of Alex Trebek and Patrick Swayze living a year. That's very abnormal for pancreatic cancer.
Hmm.
I always hate to rank and rate and compare diseases. It's about as nasty as you get. You get it. There's no way out. It goes quickly. You stop eating, your whole body changes, and they're just a different person by the time of the end of it. And it's quick. You know, and there's some advantages to that and some disadvantages. Like I look at it like if you're going to live that way, the people that you love to have to watch them that way, and I have to watch someone like that for 5 years, I wouldn't want that. I don't think they would want that.
Hmm.
On the flip side, you have someone like my mom who has MDS. And for those who don't know, it's myelodysplasia. It's a blood disease, low counts on red and white, which means her body can't fight off anything really. So that she has to get blood transfusions and just take chemo and stuff like that. She's well past the time, but they're making advances. And, just like you saw what happened with Brooklyn, hopefully they can find something else. So, I've seen both sides of it, and it's tough.
Hmm. And I just give a shout out to my wife. She's Christine A. Smith there, and
She's
is
all over the comments.
aging folks. She is shouting this out, and just a great help behind the scenes. So thank you, Christine, for that. One of the things, Matt, that you talked about with your mother was you asked her what she misses.
Yeah, she can't fly on a plane, which results in I'm driving her to New Jersey. She's a snowbird. She lives in New Jersey and lives here half the year in Florida. So I have to drive her. She can't fly. She can't really do ballroom dancing. And COVID changed that a little bit because you can't be around people if she gets it. But the energy, she just doesn't have the energy. It uses up too much of her blood to go dancing. And she plays some pickleball now. And you know what? It's interesting. As you get older, there's things that you can't do because your body won't. But for some reason, it just feels different if you can't do it because of, you're out of breath from blood, as opposed to, hey, I'm getting older, my back hurts, or I have a bad knee or a hip, right?
Right. Those old football injuries, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, they catch up. We're getting old. I always say we're getting older every day. Hopefully, that's the goal.
Yeah.
I'll be 46 in a couple of weeks, and I can't do some of the things that I used to do and what my brain wants me to do because my body won't do it.
Yeah.
But it's different.
That's there are things we can't do. At least we can be grateful for the things that we did when we could, right? And I think that's one of the lessons, especially with like your father and that pancreatic cancer, because it goes so quickly that we don't want to miss those opportunities. to connect with those that we love.
Yeah. So, and my mom talks about a good point. My mom's a fighter. You just knew that, you know that about her if you know her. My father was not, he didn't want to fight as much about it. Again, part of it was he knew that it was a losing battle.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend whose father got blood cancer and didn't want to fight, and he was gone fairly soon after. It's a choice. It's like, where are you in life? What do you have to look forward to? What's your threshold for pain and
Mm-hmm.
unhappiness? Everyone has it different. I love life. I love to do as much as I can with life and do what makes me happy. But there becomes a time where it's a quality of life. And if you can't do the things that you want to do, I think about this. If I was unfortunate enough to have some type of disease or injury, what would I want? What would I want to live through? And I think about it. I'm a fighter. I love life, but some things, if I can't do the things I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I want to be around. So it's different for everyone. And by the way, there's no fault to either way. If you feel like, if you don't want to fight and you feel like it's not worth it, that's okay too.
It's as my mother said, growing old is not for sissies.
Yeah.
And the treatments can be tough and hard on the individual, and they're hard on families. I know that as you said, it's changed what your mother can do, and so that's impacted how you care for her as well.
Yeah. Bowling for Soup is a band I love. They have a new song called "Growing Old Sucks, but Everybody's Doing It."
Mm.
So it's a funny song, but it's
Mm-hmm.
if you find out the way to grow, to stop growing old, that's going to be something. You ever see the movie Benjamin Button when he went backwards in life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I'd be interested in.
I have never wanted to be 18 again.
Well, actually, I would like to go back. I just wouldn't want to go backwards from old to young. If I go back, I would go back to like 14. I would. I'd start and go back to 14. If I could change, like, knowledge you have now, and I'm not talking about winning lottery numbers. I'm just talking about change things I could change. I would go back to 14. I think I would.
Yeah. Back to junior high. I don't know if I'd be back in junior high.
Well, you say, you're doing things that are different. It's a different,
Sure.
you have a different experience, not relive the
Yep.
same exact experience.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, when was it that you found out about your mother?
Yeah, it was. I don't even have a lot of memories of it, other than it was a conversation a family had, and to let her know, and here's what it is, because we didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
We heard of leukemia, right, but didn't really know a whole lot about that. And then this isn't even full blown leukemia, but it might as well be, right? I mean, it's just, we don't want to belittle the impact
Mm-hmm.
that a disease has on someone. So, it was, it's tough, especially having lost our father to pancreatic cancer. You want to know, hey, what does this mean? How long can it be cured? What do you have to go through? How long can you live? What do we need to do as a family? It's a call you never want to have.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's I remember many years ago when I was growing up, and John Wayne, he was contracted a cancer, and he was on television with a commercial to promote and raise money. But the clip they played was him in a movie where the two characters, the doctor is telling the patient that they have cancer, and he just says, you don't want this. You don't want to have to be in that situation. And you also had Alex on the show, Alex Rosa. And, I feel for our medical people as well, who have to be the person to deliver that news to a patient.
I can't. I watch that video on Brooklyn, and I get tears. You know, I can't. I'm. It's hard for me. I was in and out of hospitals with my grandma a lot, and I hate to look at other people who are sick. I don't remember this that well, but my mom's grandma was like in a nursing home, and I just wouldn't go. I couldn't be around people that were sick like that. And I get this when I see people on the side of the road who are homeless and the mentally ill. It's just, I want to help how I can, but it's not something that I can do. And I know I'm not alone. So the type of person you have to be a nurse and a doctor, it's incredible.
Yeah. So I just want to give a big shout out to all of the medical folks. And again, just remind people, this is a 12-hour series of live broadcasts. Matt, you were just on the last hour. This is hour 3. And then Tim was there in hour 1. And coming up, we've got Inger Van Roy, who's going to be in a conversation with Dorothy Odell. And so I just thank everybody that's been participating. And you can donate. There's a link scrolling by. You can put that in and donate. You can send a check, make it out to LLS and send it to Tim. You can see the address where to send that. You know, Matt, one of the things that I think about when I think about those hospitals, those people that we can't help, that's part of the frustration is that we're, especially as guys, we're fixers, right? We always want to just fix things. We want to go in and provide the solution, and we can't. And like with Brooklyn, you and I just don't have that ability, but we can donate and help the researchers get the tools, get the trials, get the testing done, and provide help for Brooklyn.
And talk about it, right? I mean, a lot of people don't have money. If you can't, I'm going to donate a small amount, but I don't have a lot right now. But I can come on and give my time and talk and share the stories and bring my mom on and help give visibility. It's just like that, this person sees it, they might share it, and then find the people who do have money, and then also find the people who could help in other ways to make other people aware. But we talk about helping that's an interesting perspective from me and my experience with cancer, because my father, I live in Florida, my family's in New Jersey. My father was in New Jersey, and I talked to him every day when he was alive. But I was not up there. I didn't get to go to doctors with him. I was hearing from my family what was going on. Didn't really understand until I went, and this is kind of before we even knew, because he had Parkinson's, and I went up for Memorial Day, and we had a picnic with my friends, a barbecue, and my dad didn't come down. He was in bed all day, and I was looking at him. He was not in good shape. And we're like, he's not eating. Something's wrong with him. We went to the doctor. He was diagnosed. 6 weeks later, he's gone. But in that 6 weeks, I was down here in Florida until I got the call and said, you got to get on a plane. And I remember I got on the next flight, I could. And I remember getting there, and he was at the point where he was done talking. He couldn't communicate anymore. So I didn't get any chance to talk to him. And he didn't pass until like a week after. So I was there talking to him, and I know he heard me. But one of the things that made me feel, and this, I can't express this enough, was that one of the things that really gave me comfort was that I talked to my dad every day, and we really knew how we felt about each other, and I didn't have to talk to him. I knew how he felt, and it was comforting to me. And some people don't get that chance to have that, and I feel badly for them, because as I'm speaking at my dad's funeral, I said that it's a very comforting feeling to know where you stand with someone. And there's a lot of people in our lives that we have struggled with. And I can tell you that my mom is one of them, and I'm working through it. I love my mom. but we butt heads a lot, and we get an opportunity to twice a year to drive 1,200 miles, and there's a lot of silence. There's a lot of listening to music, but there's time to talk. And if there's someone in your life who you haven't gotten a chance to clear the air with, to apologize, to reconnect with, whatever that means for you, I encourage you to do it, because it was such a good feeling. I know it looks like I'm sad now when I'm talking about my dad, but man, every time I think about him, it's a happy sadness. The sadness is that he's not around anymore, but the relationship that I was able to have with him, and I'm lucky to have my mom alive, because if it would have happened to her in the same manner, there'd be a lot of difficulty for me dealing with it. And so I encourage everyone, whether they have a disease or not, to really just reach out to the people that you're and let them know how you feel, or make sure that they know you. I have this argument all the time. I don't have to tell you I love you for you to know that I love you. People want to hear it, but like everyone in my close circle, they know how I feel about them, and it's a very good feeling to have.
Yeah, boy, Matt, that is such great advice. Just everyone's got a different love language, right? And especially those that are close to you, if you can understand what that is, whether it's acts of service or physical touch or words of encouragement, whatever that love language is, I encourage you to find that out about those that are close to you, and take advantage of that, because we just don't know. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and those relationships. There is no reset button on life. We don't get to do it again. We don't get to there's no play it again. And so take advantage of every moment that you have, and don't let dumb things get in the way.
Yeah, so much of the arguments that we have, and it's just silly. I mean, I'm a stubborn person. I'm a Taurus, and you just be like, hey, I'm not going to call you, or just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I asked my mom about the bright side of things, and one of the things that is the bright side of what my mom is going through is that it allows me to spend more time with her, whether it's that ride or just stuff that she needs done. And you learn more about people that way, and it's given me an opportunity to hash out some of the things that are not right with us. Which is not an easy thing to do. But I also tell her, and this is a touchy subject, I also tell her, like, just because someone's ill doesn't mean we forget everything else that's going on, whether it's about what you are. So there's people who, like, we have empathy for the people who are ill, but also it doesn't mean, like, that's not an excuse for behavior and to get everything. So we don't forget about all that stuff. We don't just have to help someone because they're sick. It's just, that's not the reality of it. As I asked Alex, like, you see a ton of people in hospitals with no one there to be around them. So it's a tough thing.
Yeah, it's those relationships, and it is a two-way street always, right? As they say, it's not 50-50, it's 100-100. We all need to give. And speaking of giving, for those of you who have recently filed your tax returns and you're expecting a refund, and you're kind of thinking, what am I going to do? I tell you what, right here, donate. Every dollar counts. Click on the link, send a check to made payable to LLS, mail it to Tim Sohn, 120 Carroll Lane, Shahola, Pennsylvania, 18458. That's a good thing to do with your money, and
what's this refund you taught? I never heard of it. Is it a thing? Tax refund? They don't just take more?
That's right. Well, Matt, you're very patriotic. Thank you for all of your support.
It's going somewhere. That's the other thing about disease too, is and I know LLS does a good job of this, because I've sat in some of their stuff, and there's a lot of other, like, transparency on where the money goes and what they're using it for is important in getting people to want to donate. There's organizations out there that they probably do a lot of good, but I don't have any idea where this money is going. And it's like, I need to know a little bit more about where my money's going to understand why I'm going to give it to them.
Yeah. And so for the people that were tuned in early and saw the video with Brooklyn, and I can tell you, if you make this donation, you are helping Brooklyn, and you are helping so many people like her. And maybe these are people that you're never going to meet, but we're all in this together. We're approaching 8 billion people on this planet, but we're still one. And it's a part of the community. And communities are built on a common interest or shared hardship. And for the last 2 years, we have all had one hardship. And I know you had some conversation with Alex about the about COVID, and that's what brought the world together. And these are you have opportunity to connect to people and to help people out. Maybe pay it forward and make a donation. But think of Brooklyn.
Yeah, is Brooklyn going to be on one of these 12 hours?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know Tim is watching, so we'll let Tim chime in on that. $25 provides patients and their loved ones with free booklets that contain up-to-date information on the disease and to help make them make informed decisions about their treatment options. And this is one of the things, Matt, that you mentioned too, was just not being aware. There's so many different diseases, types of cancers out there. And even if it's maybe one of the more common cancers out there, breast cancer, prostate cancer, we still don't know about them. And the treatments, there's new treatments all of the time. So $50 makes it possible for a family support group with a trained facilitator where comfort can be found and experiences can be shared among patients and family members. So, Matt,
I see Brooklyn's not going to be able to join us, but
okay.
Yeah, we should reach out and see if I'd love to have her on the Wolff Den too. I'm sure you'd love to have her on your show. She's, as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm a twin. My brother actually had some stuff taken off his nose. It was skin cancerous, and they were lucky to find it real quick, and they take it off. But it's just, you just never know. I mean, there's so many different things that we have to fight that don't show up and aren't obvious to it, which is why even if you talk about like COVID, one of the good things about COVID, and I hate saying that, but underlying conditions that people didn't even know about. Right. So let's find out what's going on so we understand how other things can affect us. As simple as COVID, which, people with a blood disease, you can't get COVID. You're not going to survive it.
Right. Yeah. And so, again, I'm just going to remind everybody that every dollar counts, and you can see scrolling on the bottom, there's a link there. And so it's an opportunity. And again, every dollar counts, little or big gifts. And, we talk about on nonprofit boards, we talk about the 3 roles: workers, wisdom, and wealth. And not everybody can write a big check or even knows people who can write big checks. But you can support in many ways, like Matt broadcasting with his mom and Alex and myself here. And again, thank you to Tim Sohn. A big shout out for putting this all together, and for all of the people who are broadcasting today, just to help out, to do what we can to bring awareness to this research, to the need, and give people an opportunity to donate. And Matt, one of the things I found is that people want to help, but they just need to be asked, and they need to know where it's going and that their money is going to be used for something valuable.
Well, let's talk about Tim for a minute. He's the reason why we're doing this. He's a candidate for Man and Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
And, you probably felt the same way when you see that. Like, how do you say no to Tim, who does so much good for so many people with his show, and when he's on, with the shout out Saturdays, and it's incredible how positive they are, right? And it's not easy to do, but when you see other people helping, that's what motivates me to want to do certain things and be helpful. And it's good. Those are the leaders that we need. And I don't mind being a follower and being a supporter, because that's how it starts. It just starts with his show, and then someone randomly goes to. I don't know how you got in touch with Tim, but you see it, and it's just, man, you want to be a part of that. It's such a great community. And then now you do it, and you have a show, and now I'll bring the people on my show, and people will see all the great people that he's involved in, the people that he's helping. Yeah, it's they're very good at supporting each other. As you can see, Nancy, they're very good at supporting each other and lifting everyone up. And the last thing I want to say about that is people who deserve to be elevated and lifted up. There's a lot of people out there now who are getting a lot of attention and publicity and being lifted up who don't really deserve it. They don't. And it angers me a little bit to be like, why are they getting all this attention? We need other people who can do much better and who are doing better things and who really stand by it and feel strongly about it. Other than, these people that are getting elevated. I think there's a new wave. Tim's certainly part of that, and I like to do my part to challenge those who are there and elevate others who deserve it. Now you're on mute. You hit mute.
There we go. Yeah, my dog was outside the window trying to join in, and so anyway, I am just grateful for Tim, for his heart. And Tim, I will just say here on the screen, I love you. I thank you for what you do, for the heart that you have, and for so many people are going to be helped because of this. And although Matt and I don't have a vote, you're man of the year.
Yeah, he got my vote. He's got my. I don't even know who else is up for it. He's got my vote. That's why we're here. And Tim, as he's going through stuff or was going through stuff, and we talk about getting positive and getting the support. I mean, I don't think Tim needs as much of that because of the personality he has, but it's still great to get, and it could really help the people who need to hear that, mm-hmm. that it might be okay, or to need to hear that it's okay that you had a bad day, or that you're struggling with what you're going through. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned Dick Vitale on my show, and he was he was showing you from the hospital, posting and sharing. I think that getting a look behind that scenes is very helpful. I think it's helpful. I think when we watch a story like Brooklyn, it's helpful to see. Mm-hmm. It's heartwarming, but it's helpful. It makes you do two things. One, it makes you want to help. And then what it does for me is it makes me feel so grateful on the life that I have. And it makes me feel like the struggles that I have are not as big, and mm-hmm. that can be overcome, which is a powerful thing, as you know.
It's one of those things too, is, we're talking about things that we can do, things we can't help with. But so for those of us that are on this side of the cancer battle, we'll do what we can. We're here to broadcast. We will donate and help and support. For those that are on the other side, like Tim, like Brooklyn, one of the things that you can do, and just put this out as a bit of encouragement, is let your friends and family help. Because we want to do something. We're powerless to do so many things. But man, if we can take a 1,200-mile road trip with you, then let's do it. If we can cook a meal, if we can just sit quietly with you, that's what we're here to do as well. And so for those of you who are out there that do have the cancers that we're trying to help with, let your friends and family sit with you and help with you.
That's
encourage that.
Really important thing, because we have a friend who's going through cancer and is very private about it. Even the closest friends won't return phone calls, and you understand it, but it's very tough to sit by. It's their journey, as he said. So you got to respect how they want to, but you always you wish that they would allow you to help. Whether it could be just drop off a meal, go shopping for you, go whatever, do your laundry, whatever it is. Yeah, let people help. And you should do that. And we all need help to get where we want to go. We've all gotten help to get where we are. So cancer or no cancer, we should all let people help who want to help. It's a real blessing to have people in your world who want to help, because there's a lot of people who don't have anyone that's willing to help them. Some through fault of their own, and some through no fault of their own. And Tim was talking about he didn't plan on sharing his story. But sharing the story it doesn't even matter what it is. It's so powerful, because as I say, we're as unique as I think I am. There's always someone who's gone through what I've gone through, and something who's gone through what Tim's gone through, and what Brooklyn's and what my mom has gone through. And whether it's through cancer, whether it's your job experience, your experience as a husband, a wife, a mother, a father, daughter, sister, whatever it is, someone's gone through it. Very few things have not, where there's zero other people in this world who have experienced it.
And that's the thing is again, cancer has touched everybody. I haven't met anyone that I know that hasn't had been personally affected, or a family member or a close friend. Cancer is all around us, and so we got to do what we can do, and helping out that one person that you know, or making a donation like you can do right here, big or small, whatever you can donate. If you have friends that are generous, let them know about this option. And there's a lot, Matt, like people can go and watch the replay of your conversation with your mother and Alex and get some encouragement, I think.
Yeah, that's what I love about StreamYard and the shows that we do is it's live, so we have great participation. Your wife, Tim, Nancy, I have to go through. There's a ton of people there, and it's great. But it's there. You could watch it. Maybe you could watch it. Maybe someone's going to watch it a year from now because they want to be reminded of this. Maybe this something in this 12 hours really lifted their spirits, and they're struggling, and they want to go back and watch it again. It's powerful. That's so much stuff that's powerful in helping people cope, whether they're the ones with cancer or whether it could be powerful in letting someone who's on the other side, like you and I, who have family members or friends who are dealing with cancer. That's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to experience. I know I told you this when I talked to you. Your dad was 53 years old. I had 10 extra years with my dad. That's a long time. We would all love to have 10 hours or 10 days more. And so I have a friend who lost his father. We didn't realize how young they are because we were young ourselves. In the 30s, people lose their parents, or someone might lose a child. Yeah. Young. It's, man, we just got to be real thankful for what we have, not take things for granted, because it could be us also. We never know. It's a luck of the draw in a lot of ways that we could be on the other side of this.
Well, one of the things that COVID has that was a positive was the use of like video conferencing, whatever platform that you choose. And so just like with your family in New Jersey and you there in Florida, you're still able to have those conversations. You can still connect. And as we were saying earlier, make sure that you don't let those moments pass. Take that opportunity to reach out, and don't be the person that's waiting and saying, well, they never call me. Be the person to call, reach out, connect to people, connect to those that you love. Let them know that you are there for them. And that is so encouraging to people, is just to know that people are there to support them, that they're, even if you're not physically able to do anything for them, if you can't give a meal because you're out of the area, but just for them to know that you're a support is an encouragement. That's called perceived support. And there's research around this that says it makes us have happier, healthier, longer lives.
Yeah, someone posted something on my, it's maybe a mental health post, that it's just the feeling of people feeling alone is devastating. And there's people who feel alone even when they're not alone. So it's, it's you got to be vocal about how you feel and that you're there to support someone, even if you don't do anything. Just someone knowing that if they needed you, that you're there for them is a very special feeling for some people. The other thing I'll say is, and I used to always live this way, maybe sometimes to my detriment, living life to the fullest, doing what makes you happy. We're not promised tomorrow. Really, my life changed when my dad passed, to really elevate that. And then there's a few other things that have happened in my life that have, again, they reinforce it. But one of the things that I don't, and I'm guilty of it as much as anyone else, is we wait for something bad to happen to reinforce this stuff, when we should really be, living it all the time. Like, why do we wait for tragedy to happen before we take action? Right? And tragedy could be someone dies, but it could be that someone has cancer. It could be, who knows? It could be a lot of things, money, whatever. We always wait till the last minute, or wait till something bad happens before, if we're proactive on things, health and all other types of things, I think we'll all be better.
Yeah, there was a friend of mine that was telling a story where something over a boat caused a 20-year break between him and his brother having a conversation. And finally, they were able to overcome that. That's a silly thing, a boat, to let that get in the way between your relationship, between you and somebody that you love.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate to be who I am and have the family that I have. I have no aunts, no uncles, no cousins. Both my parents were only children. So my family is me, my mom, my sister, my brother. I have a wife now. My brother has a wife and 4 kids. But we have a small, tight knit. It doesn't even make sense to me to not talk to someone in your family. But I know that there's families out there who don't talk to their mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter. It just doesn't. I can't even imagine that, choosing to do that. Forget about when something like that gets taken away from you. Right? That's a different story. So it's if there's anything out, the 2 things we want to encourage here is to help the people who are suffering from this disease, but also in life, just make people aware, because you never know. You never know. You don't talk to someone, and next day they could get a diagnosis, and that's a tough thing to do, right? When you start, someone has something bad, and now it's a different scenario and feeling and story if you reconnect with someone because they have, and there's no bad reason to reconnect, but it's a different feeling if you wait until something bad happens.
I say, everybody that's watching today, reach out to some friend or family member that you haven't talked to in a long time. And don't wait. Do it today. And whether it's a text, a call, a personal visit, whatever, reach out to that person, because we just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So take action today. And
I have. I watch. I'm a big entertainment guy, and so I watch a ton of movies. There's a lot of good movies out there that actually share and the cancer story of people. And there was a movie called Paddleton. It's got Ray Romano, and I forget the other guy's name, but I'm a big fan of his. And it's the story about these 2 men who are best friends. And later in life, both unmarried, and one of them gets cancer. And it's the story of, it's a powerful story. It's called Paddleton with Ray Romano. I think it's on Netflix, but I encourage people to watch it, because it's really a great story on how you can help someone with cancer.
Hmm.
But that's their journey, right? Everyone's journey experience is different. Some people might not want that, but it's a really great story. And there's a lot of other movies out there that show cancer and the good and the bad. But that's maybe one of my favorites, called Paddleton.
Yeah. Well, as we wind down, Matt, just thanks again for all your support, and thank you for sharing the story and talking about your mother and your father. I appreciate you opening up your heart in your life to everybody here and to help raise money.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to raise money, raise awareness. I love, actually, I get a lot of emotions when I watch commercials of, father, son, when I watch cancer stuff, videos. All of them give me a good feeling, good memories of my dad. Very few memories of my dad are bad, even if I'm picturing him in the hospital and it's the end. So it's, that's the other thing, is we can honor the people who have suffered, to help the people who are in it now and the people who don't have it yet. That's what we're here for, right? There's people watching now who, unfortunately, by the numbers, will get news of diagnosis. And so we want to keep extending the life of the people who have it, like my mom and like everyone else, keeping the people who've beat it, like Tim, from getting it again, helping the people like Brooklyn who beat it and got it again to hopefully beat it again, and then hopefully someone preventing them from getting it. And I'm honored to be able to help with my own hour and to be a part of your hour. And I'm going to support as much as I can the rest of the day. And that's it.
This is great. And so, again, thank you for that. And thank you for going from hosting your own hour and jumping right into this hour.
Well, I've done 2 hours before, and I know Tim does 4 hours at a time regularly. One day I'm going to do a 24-hour. I know people have done it. I got to figure out a way to do it. What's the most you've done?
I think back in the days of Blab, I did a 10-hour, and that was enough. That was enough.
It goes by fast, though. It does go by fast.
It does go by. When you've got great people, Matt, like yourself, great stories, it's important. Hey, I just tell everybody, next up is a great friend, Inger Van Roy, having her conversation with Dorothy Odell. And you'll want to tune in for that as well. And I encourage you, share this with other people. Do like my wife, tag people that you know that can come and watch, and maybe somebody that has money to donate, and they're just looking for a spot. And so ask them to donate. And we don't need to be shy about it, right, Matt? We don't need to be shy about asking people to donate, because we know it's lives like Brooklyn's that you're going to affect.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing the rest of it. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And thanks, Tim. Thanks to you. And that's it. Let's support the rest of the people who are streaming.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, Matt, I look forward to watching your show and learning more about Ticket Time Machine.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. I'll send you out, and I think we'll catch up again.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. All right, everybody. This has been the third hour of this 12-hour live stream event. And we have Inger Van Roy is coming up next. So you can go to the pages.lls.org/m.woy/lv/scranton22/TSOHNA and go to the current live stream. So there you go. We have all of this coming available because of Tim Sohn and for so many people who have volunteered to host these shows and to be guests and share their stories. So with that, I'm going to end this broadcast, and thank you, Tim Sohn.